What's going on, everyone? In this video, I want to share the 7 reasons why I quit dropshipping. Now, I don't know how long you've been actually following me on this channel, but I started this channel in 2019 going into 2020, and my intention was to build it around e-commerce, and that's exactly what you did. If you scroll back and look at some of our first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 videos, they're actually focused on dropshipping and e-commerce and performance marketing in that space. But I've made a huge pivot in my life over the last, let's say, 12 to 16 months, and I've gone off the deep end fully into lead generation and pay-per-call. You could call it affiliate marketing. I don't really consider it at that point. I'm really generating leads and then reselling them to lead buyers, such as insurance companies, such as attorneys, and several other verticals as well. So maybe you're struggling in dropshipping, you're trying to get to work and it's not working, or you've been thinking about starting an online business. So I want to share with you the 7 reasons why I stopped doing dropshipping after doing it for about 4 years, and why I made a full hard pivot over to lead generation and pay-per-call. First and foremost, to me, lead generation pay-per-call is enjoyable in many of the ways that dropshipping and e-commerce is complex and frustrating, right? It's a simpler model. You're selling data. You're obviously, there's still a fulfillment concept to it where you need to provide the leads or provide the live calls to your end buyer, to your customers, but you're not having to worry about shipping physical products. So this is just something that's really appealed to me. I never really had a goal of growing an e-commerce brand myself, so I was always doing dropshipping, and I just believe it's a superior business model and it's far more profitable than doing dropshipping or e-commerce, unless you have a brand where you can sell the brand in the future, right? Which is not very easy to do. It's extremely hard and typically you use a lot of money along the way, unless you hit it right with a really good product and you have all of the skill sets dialed in to make it profitable. But even then, a lot of brands don't make it, right? They don't sell for big multipliers, at least not like they did in kind of like the boom era, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, before ad costs really went up. You could be profitable, and then for 1, 2, 3 years as you develop the brand and you grow it, and then you could flip that brand for 5x, 10x, whatever the multiplier sells it for. So like I mentioned, lead generation and pay-per-call are far more profitable in the short run, right? And that's actually the second reason why I prefer lead generation and pay-per-call over dropshipping and e-commerce. So your margins are typically 50% or more, right? So you put $1 in, often you get $2 back, which is pretty crazy. Whereas with dropshipping and e-commerce, you're probably looking at an average of 15 to 20% net profit at scale, okay? You might have some bigger margins early on when you're testing and you have really good creatives right away. That is possible, but generally speaking, I found 15 to 20%, sometimes a little bit higher, but often not, especially if you're relying on like Facebook ads and Google, okay? So the beauty of lead generation pay-per-call is you typically have higher payouts depending what it is that you're selling, what vertical you're operating in. So I do a lot of in the legal niche and also legal vertical, right? So I'm mass tort, selling leads and calls to attorneys and attorney call centers. And I also now do a lot in the financial vertical as well. And typically I'm getting paid like $100 a lead, and then per call you can see $200 to $275 for a billable phone call. Obviously not every phone call counts, right? So there are downsides to every type of business, but I found it a lot easier to test the product, offer in this case, not a product, and see how it backs out, see how the numbers back out. And often you don't really lose money if you have good buyers lined up. Typically you're around like break even if you do a decent job at getting the creatives and the ad copy dialed in, and maybe if you're running to a landing page, having a good lander, and then that allows you to not really burn as much. Whereas with e-commerce, you tend to invest just as much, if not more, time, energy, money, resources to test a product, and then sometimes it just completely flops, and then you also have physical product costs that goes with it too. So I just find it's a lot easier to pivot in this space, and the offers that you advertise tend to have more longevity to them compared to some e-commerce products. Third thing is, I generally don't believe I'm the best at dropshipping and e-commerce. I really genuinely applied myself and gave my best to it for several years, for about 4 years. And I felt like I never really got to the level I saw some of the guys I started with who would do 10x the sales volume that I would do. You know, we'd have 100, 150K months, right? I think my biggest month, we did 300K in revenue, not profit. Whereas I saw guys 10x, 5x, 10xing that consistently with good margins, 15 to 20% at scale. And I just never really got there. And I don't know if it was just more of like a mindset, how I approach things, what my focus was. Maybe I was lacking somewhere in the media buying. I don't know. I spent a lot of time thinking and learning and networking and connecting, paying mentors, you name it. And I feel like I never really got to that level I wanted to. So it was very discouraging at sometimes because I had an expectation for myself and I didn't hit it. But when I made the switch over to lead generation pay-per-call with actually one of my clients, who's now a good friend of mine, encouraged me to do so, I saw not instant success, but fast success. And I saw scalability happen really fast. I think a lot of it was those 4 years I spent learning, doing, practicing e-commerce and dropshipping and media buying that actually helped me become the type of person that can plug into the right vehicle, be it lead generation pay-per-call, and have overnight success, right? Now keep in mind, I ran a gym for about 10 years that I just sold about 6 months ago. And that gym, I had been doing lead generation on Facebook for 7 years. So in all reality, I believe I had really been practicing and preparing myself unintentionally to be the type of person to do what I do now and have success with it. So it's not to say everyone that jumps into this space is going to have the same kind of success that I've had in as much of a short period of time, but it's all those years of practice in a similar skill set that I just changed vehicles over to lead generation pay-per-call, and it hit quick, right? Just to be honest with you. The fourth reason I quit dropshipping was because of all the BS that comes with it, right? So first and foremost, it is super easy for someone to literally rip your whole landing page, rip your ads, and relaunch, right? So to get your legs cut out from underneath you, to have someone steal your product essentially is very easy. And this can absolutely happen in the lead generation pay-per-call space, at least on the landing page and ad side, right? But the major difference is that this business is a very old business, I like to say, right? It is relationship-based, it's people-based. Whereas yes, on the dropshipping e-commerce side, you're selling to people, but you're really leveraging technology and consumer demand over a high spend business demand that for customer acquisition, right? I do believe that this is far more relationship based. You can burn your customers. I don't recommend it, but you could burn your customers in e-commerce and still make money off that first sale, right? Whereas in lead generation pay-per-call, if you're an idiot and you do something really stupid with one of your buyers, it's a really small space. People talk in this space a lot. If you get a bad reputation, it's going to haunt you and it's going to make your life hell. Okay, that's the first thing. And second, if you want to get paid more, if you want to have the ability to sell more to a client, it is going to be relationship based. So if you act like the typical dropshipper that just tries to crank up ad spend, crank up conversions at any cost, right? Running stupid ads that just get clicks and opt-ins but aren't quality, you're going to have a short run and a lot of frustrations in lead gen and pay-per-call. If you focus on the quality of your leads, on the quality of your messaging, the quality of your ads, and maintaining those good relationships is going to serve you and your customers in the long run. And that's what's going to give you the scalability to hit 100K months in profit, 50K months in profit consistently or more, okay? And let's not forget, there's a bunch of teenagers out there that are using TikTok organic and that are kicking your butt, most likely if you're still in dropshipping and e-commerce. And they just have a lot more time on their hands. They're probably more creative than you if you've been hitting a wall for some time anyway with e-commerce. So just keep in mind that the competition is absolutely ruthless and it's growing every day. Not to say that there's no opportunity. If e-commerce is the thing you want to make work and you're having success already, then by all means stick with it, right? But if you're struggling, if you're not getting the results you want, lead generation pay-per-call may be the vehicle for you. The fifth reason why I quit dropshipping is the complexity of the industry. So specifically with merchant accounts, right? So PayPal, Klarna, Stripe, even Shopify payments. Every one of these processors is cracking down. They're becoming more critical. You can lose your merchant account in an instant if you had to have a bad run with chargebacks or high refunds, right? So just not having to think about that, makes it a little bit easier to sleep at night in the lead generation pay-per-call space, okay? Just one less thing I have to think about. The sixth reason is because I had early success. It really gave me the motivation to stick with it and problem solve it and make this what I do. And I'm super proud to say that I've heavily invested my time and energy over the last 12 to 16 months into learning this space, learning quickly, failing fast, and making adjustments to get results, and is absolutely made a complete difference in my life, in my financial life, in every part of my life. And I just enjoy this more, right? Seventh reason I quit dropshipping was because I saw how much of a difference there is in the demand side for lead generation pay-per-call versus selling trending products, right? In lead generation pay-per-call, you have to keep in mind that there will be a forever need for businesses to generate new business and create opportunity. So when you plug into that demand and you do a good job with it, you're always going to have a demand to fulfill, a client fulfillment, right? Which means you're always going to have someone to sell leads and live calls to, and you're always going to have an opportunity. And these offers tend to last a lot longer than your average e-commerce product unless you build a brand around it. Now, before I paint a picture that this is the ultimate business and everyone should do it, that's absolutely not what I'm saying. First of all, if you're really good at e-commerce and dropshipping, or you really want to make it work, stick with it. Do not jump ship, okay? Stick to something long enough until you see it through and until you can confidently make a decision, whether it's a financial point or a time point, hopefully a time point, right? I gave dropshipping 4 years of my life until I really just decided to hang it up and not do it anymore, okay? If it wouldn't have been fair if I did it for 3 months or 6 months or maybe even a year. So that's the first thing, okay? The second thing is the grass is not always green on the other side. There are absolutely problems with lead generation and pay-per-call. You're gonna have more complexities in different ways, but really any business is gonna have its problems. You just have to ask yourself, what types of problems do you wanna spend your time solving and working with, okay? And I choose for myself in my life to work on the problems in the lead generation pay-per-call space over the e-commerce and dropshipping space. So really, what's the plan for this channel now that I'm no longer the wolf of e-commerce and it's John Casto? Well, I will be spending a lot of my time and energy pouring content out on this channel. I know I said that 6 months ago, but now I'm really in a place in my life where I'm ready to fully commit to this. I want to grow this channel to be a huge resource for people in performance marketing and lead generation pay-per-call. So I'll be bringing on a lot of experts and high-level people I've met over the last 12 to 16 months at mastermind events and networking events. The network I'm really building in the space just by doing good by people. I'm excited to invite them on as guests, learn from them, which will trickle down and share that knowledge with you, as well as I do interviews with high-level pay-per-call experts, high-level lead gen experts, even some of the owners of the technology companies, the technologies that we're all using, such as Rainbow. I'd love to have Adam Young on, as well as other people and other technologies that we're using too, right? And I'm going to be traveling a lot. So I've been blessed since I sold my gym about 6 months ago. I've gone to Colombia twice for about 2 to 3 months. We've been to Mexico, I believe. We went to the Caribbean. We went to Turkey. We went to Bangkok, Indonesia, and even, where was I last? Dubai. And we're getting ready to go to Mexico here again in 2 weeks. So I'm traveling a lot. I'm having a lot of fun while I do this. And we're also planning a big move. So we'll be renting our house out in about a month or so, maybe 2 months. And we're gonna uproot and move down to Medellin, Colombia for at least 6 months just to try something different. So I will be sharing the lifestyle side of what I'm doing as I work, as I continue to grow this business and really do good by people. And I'm excited to share that too. Hopefully that inspires you if that's something you enjoy. And I have a lot more time to focus on jiu-jitsu too. So I don't know if you know this about me. I'm 3-4 years now into my blue belt, almost 4 years. Maybe the next belt's around the corner, who knows. But I train jiu-jitsu 4 to 6 times a week. It's really what keeps me centered, what keeps me happy, what keeps me level-headed. And I'm excited to maybe share some of that side as well. I encourage everyone to have that thing they do, because I see a lot of guys get consumed by this business and really not make any time for anything fun, right? So that's where like the travel comes in, not make time for family, and also not make time for their health and their exercise. And that's really a damn shame. So I hope to inspire you guys, in addition to help you get results, right? Inspire you to just be the better version of you through this business, okay? Because there's a lot of not so good people in this space, or at least they don't take care of themselves, and maybe that's why they don't do good business sometimes, right? So I'll be traveling a lot. I want to share that with you as well, but obviously, like I said, a lot about the performance marketing side, okay? I've also started teaching lead generation and pay-per-call as well. We started with a small group of about 9 or 10 people. We'll be opening up another group in the future as well. That is kind of by invite only. We do vet everyone we bring through, so that is something I'll mention in the future. But look for more videos and just more cool stuff that I'll be putting up on this channel. I'm gonna get more involved in YouTube, and I look forward to serving each and every one of you on a weekly basis.